Right now, as you listen to my voice, there is a silent clock ticking inside your chest. You cannot hear it. You cannot feel it. But for one out of every three people watching this, that clock is nearing zero. It is not a matter of if, but when. We have been conditioned to believe that heart attacks and strokes are sudden events, like a bolt of lightning from a clear blue sky. But medicine tells a different story. These are not accidents. They are the final, desperate scream of a system that has been suffocating for years. Your blood vessels, a 60,000-mile network of highways, are being choked. Imagine a massive city where every main road is slowly being filled with sand. At first, the cars just slow down. Then the side streets jam up. Finally, the entire city grinds to a halt. This is what is happening inside your arteries right now. The most terrifying part? The symptoms you have been taught to look for, the crushing chest pain, the slurred speech, those are not early warnings. Those are the end-stage collapse. If you are waiting for those, you are waiting too long. Today, this is your final warning. We are going to stop the sand. We are going to clear the highways. And we are going to do it starting in the next 72 hours. This is not about a temporary diet or a trendy juice cleanse. This is about biological intervention using the most powerful, overlooked tools in your kitchen. Within 3 days, the right compounds can trigger a physiological shift that moves your body from plaque-building mode into plaque-clearing mode. But before we get to the 6 life-saving spices, you must understand the monster we are fighting. Think back to your younger years. Your blood vessels were like pristine, flexible silk tubes. They could expand and contract with every beat, delivering oxygen-rich life to every cell in your body. But every day, bit by bit, things changed. One day, high stress levels caused a tiny tear in the lining of an artery. Another day, processed sugars created a wave of inflammation that scarred that lining. Because of this, your body did what it was designed to do. It tried to patch the wound. It sent cholesterol, white blood cells, and calcium to the site. But it never stopped. The patch became a bump. The bump became a mound. And the mound became a blockage. For years, you lived your life thinking you were fine because you could still walk, still work, still breathe. But underneath the surface, your internal highways were narrowing, hardening, and becoming brittle. Until one day the flow became so restricted that the check engine lights started flashing. Maybe it was a strange numbness in your left hand that you dismissed as sleeping wrong. Maybe it was a coldness in your feet that never went away, even with thick socks. Or perhaps it was that nagging brain fog and a sudden lack of energy after a simple meal. These are not signs of aging. They are signs of ischemia, a lack of blood flow that is starving your organs of life. Your doctor might have looked at your blood work and told you your cholesterol is borderline or that you should watch your diet. But watching is not fixing. Standard advice often treats the symptoms while the root cause, the endothelial dysfunction, continues to rot your system from the inside out. The endothelium is a single layer of cells lining your entire vascular system. It is the most important organ you have never heard of. It produces a miracle molecule called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the natural lubricant for your blood. It tells your vessels when to relax and open up. When your endothelium is healthy, blood flows like a powerful, clear river. When it is damaged, blood becomes thick, sluggish, and prone to clotting. This damage is what leads to the time bomb. Inflammation turns your blood vessels into a sticky environment where plaque can grab hold and grow. If we do not address this inflammation and restore the production of nitric oxide, no amount of medication will truly save you. But here is the hope. Your body is not a machine that simply wears out. It is a biological system that is constantly trying to repair itself. It just needs the right raw materials. Scientists have discovered that certain botanical compounds can act as biological keys. They don't just sit in your stomach, they enter your bloodstream and interact directly with your DNA and your cell receptors. They can flip the switch on enzymes that melt away the glue holding plaque together. They can force your endothelium to pump out massive amounts of nitric oxide, expanding your vessels and flushing out toxins within hours. In the next 72 hours, we are going to initiate a vascular reset. We are going to use 6 specific spices, natural powerhouses that have been proven in clinical settings to alter blood chemistry. We aren't just talking about eating healthy. We are talking about a targeted strike against arterial stiffness. By the end of this journey, you will understand why that spice bottle in the back of your cupboard is more valuable than anything in a pharmacy. You will learn the exact sequence and the exact combinations that turn a simple seasoning into a life-saving medicine. The clock is ticking, but for the next 72 hours, the power to reset it is in your hands. Are you ready to clear the path? Because your heart cannot wait another day. We begin our intervention with what I call the advance guard. These are the spices that don't just ask your body to change, they force it. If your blood vessels are a clogged city, these are the heavy demolition crews that arrive first to clear the debris so the healing can begin. You might think you know these ingredients. You might even have them in your pantry right now, but I can almost guarantee you are using them in a way that renders their medicinal power useless. To save your life in 72 hours, we must move past flavoring and move into biochemistry. Spice number 6 is the one that has been feared and revered for thousands of years: garlic. But forget the roasted garlic on your bread or the garlic powder in your soup. Those are dead to your arteries. To activate the vascular clearing compound known as allicin, you must understand a secret of plant defense. Allicin does not actually exist inside a garlic clove. It is only created when two separate components, alliin and the enzyme alliinase, meet. This happens only when the cell walls are ruptured. When you crush, chop, or mince raw garlic and let it sit for exactly 10 minutes, a chemical reaction occurs. It is a biological explosion. If you cook it immediately, the heat destroys the enzyme, and the miracle never happens. Why is this a lifesaver? Because allicin is one of the few natural substances that can mimic the effects of ACE inhibitors, the powerful drugs doctors prescribe for high blood pressure. A landmark study published in the journal Maturitas showed that aged garlic extract could reduce arterial stiffness as effectively as pharmaceutical intervention. When that allicin enters your bloodstream, it tells the smooth muscle cells in your vessel walls to relax. Within hours of consumption, the pressure against your artery walls begins to drop. This is critical because high pressure is what creates the tears that plaque uses as an anchor. By reducing the pressure, you stop the damage. You give the city a chance to breathe. As the pressure drops, we bring in spice number 5 to address the stickiness of your blood: ginger. Think of your blood not just as a liquid, but as a suspension. When you are inflamed, your blood becomes sludge. Your platelets, the cells responsible for clotting, become hyperreactive. They start sticking together when they shouldn't, forming microscopic clumps that act like jagged rocks tumbling through your delicate capillaries. Ginger contains potent compounds called gingerols and shogals. These molecules act as natural antiplatelet agents. In a study featured in the European Journal of Pharmacology, researchers found that ginger could inhibit the production of thromboxane, the very substance that tells your blood to clot. It is essentially nature's aspirin, but without the risk of burning a hole in your stomach lining. By incorporating concentrated ginger into your routine, you are effectively thinning the soup. You are making your blood more aerodynamic. In the first 24 to 48 hours of this protocol, this increased fluidity is what allows blood to finally reach the tiny vessels in your brain and your extremities that have been starved for years. That pins and needles feeling in your hands? That's the sound of the roads finally opening up. But clearing the road is only half the battle. We must repair the pavement. This leads us to spice number 4, the golden titan of medicine: turmeric. By now, everyone has heard that turmeric is good for inflammation. But good is an understatement. Turmeric's active compound, curcumin, is a molecular masterpiece. It targets the NF-κB pathway, the master switch for inflammation in the human body. When your blood vessels are inflamed, they are swollen and sticky. Plaque clings to them like Velcro. Curcumin goes in and turns that switch off. However, here is the medical reality that most health influencers ignore. Curcumin is notoriously difficult for your body to absorb. If you just swallow a spoonful of turmeric, 95% of it will pass straight through you and into the toilet. You are wasting your time and your money. To unlock the 72-hour vascular reset, you must combine turmeric with a pinch of black pepper. The piperine in black pepper inhibits the metabolic pathway that eliminates curcumin. increasing its bioavailability by a staggering 2,000%. When curcumin actually reaches your endothelium, it begins a process called re-epithelialization. It helps heal the microscopic scars on your inner vessel walls. It makes the Velcro smooth again so that plaque can no longer find a grip. A randomized controlled trial published in Nutrition Research showed that regular curcumin supplementation could improve endothelial function as effectively as moderate aerobic exercise. Imagine that, giving your heart the benefits of a workout just by mastering your spice cabinet. These three, garlic, ginger, and turmeric, are your foundation. They lower the pressure, thin the blood, and soothe the inflammation. But we are just getting started. As we move into the final 72 hours, we are about to move from cleaning the roads to supercharging the engine. The next three spices are the ones that truly separate the survivors from the statistics. They are the ones that trigger the release of the miracle molecule, nitric oxide, and force your cardiovascular system to act 20 years younger. If you thought the advanced guard was powerful, wait until you see what happens when we activate the vanguards of circulation. Now we enter the most critical phase of our 72-hour intervention. If the first three spices were the cleanup crew, these next three are the architects and the emergency responders. We are moving from simply managing the damage to actively reversing the clock. This is where the biology of survival meets the precision of clinical science. Spice number 3 is the great regulator, cinnamon. But wait, before you reach for that jar in your pantry, you must know that 90% of what is sold as cinnamon is actually cassia, which contains high levels of coumarin, a substance that can be toxic to your liver in large doses. To save your heart, you must seek out Ceylon cinnamon, true cinnamon. Why is cinnamon vital for your blood vessels? Think of high blood sugar not just as a metabolic issue, but as a physical weapon. When your blood sugar is elevated, the glucose molecules act like tiny, jagged shards of glass, tumbling through your arteries. They scratch the delicate endothelial lining, creating raw wounds. Your body then uses cholesterol to scab over these scratches, which is exactly how plaque begins. Cinnamon contains a compound called MHCP, methylhydroxychalcone polymer, that mimics insulin. It forces your cells to suck the sugar out of your blood and into your muscles for fuel. By stabilizing your blood sugar, cinnamon effectively polishes your blood, turning it from a corrosive sandpaper into a smooth, life-giving fluid. In the Journal of the American Board of Family Medicine, researchers noted that cinnamon could significantly reduce serum glucose and LDL cholesterol. In our 72-hour window, cinnamon is what stops the daily stabbing of your artery walls. Now we move to the most explosive responder in the botanical world. Spice number 2, cayenne pepper. If there is an emergency valve for your cardiovascular system, this is it. Cayenne contains a miraculous alkaloid called capsaicin. The moment capsaicin touches your tongue, it sends a high-priority signal to your brain, which in turn triggers the immediate release of nitric oxide. I call cayenne the nitroglycerin of nature. In clinical settings, capsaicinoids have been shown to stimulate a sensation of warmth that isn't just a feeling, it is the physical dilation of your peripheral capillaries. For someone who has lived with cold feet or numb hands for years, the effect of concentrated cayenne can be felt within minutes. It forces blood into the dead zones of your body where circulation has been stagnant for a decade. A study published in the journal Cell Metabolism highlighted how activation of the TRPV1 receptor by capsaicin actually prevents the development of hypertension and protects the vascular endothelium. In the first 48 hours of this protocol, cayenne is the spark that reignites the fire in your veins. But even with all these tools, we face a final, terrifying obstacle. Imagine a man named David. David followed every rule. He ate his greens, he walked every morning, and he took his statins. Yet at age 62, he found himself in a hospital gown, staring at an X-ray of his heart that looked like a map of a drought-stricken river. His highways were nearly 80% blocked. The doctors talked about stents and bypasses. David felt like a failure. His own body had betrayed him despite his efforts. This is the all-is-lost moment for millions. Why? Because while David was trying to clean his blood, he wasn't protecting the most fragile element of his circulation, his nitric oxide. This leads us to the undisputed king of the spice cabinet. Spice number one, cloves. You may know them for their scent during the holidays, but in the world of clinical nutrition, cloves are the nuclear option. On the ORAC scale, which measures antioxidant capacity, cloves rank higher than almost any other substance on Earth. They are nearly 30 times more powerful than blueberries. Why does this matter for your 72-hour reset? Nitric oxide is a very shy molecule. It is destroyed almost instantly by oxidative stress and free radicals. You can produce all the nitric oxide in the world, but if your blood is full of oxidative smoke, that miracle molecule disappears before it can dilate your vessels. Cloves provide a bulletproof vest for your nitric oxide. The high concentration of eugenol in cloves neutralizes the free radicals on contact, allowing your nitric oxide to live longer and work harder. In a landmark study, researchers found that consuming even a small amount of clove powder daily could significantly lower blood glucose and lipid levels while improving circulation markers by over 40% in just a few weeks. In our 72-hour window, cloves are what secure the victory. They ensure that the road remains open and the lubricant stays active. You now have the 6 vanguards: garlic to lower pressure, ginger to thin the sludge, turmeric to heal the scars, cinnamon to polish the flow, cayenne to blow open the gates, and cloves to protect the miracle. But having the ingredients is not the same as having the cure. In the final phase of this journey, I am going to give you the exact 72-hour vascular protocol, the precise timing, the dangerous mistakes you must avoid, and the ritual that will make your body feel like it has been reborn. The road is clear. It's time to drive. You have the knowledge. You have the 6 biological keys to the city. But knowledge alone is just entertainment. To save your life, knowledge must become a protocol. In the next 72 hours, we are going to move from theory to transformation. This is the 72-hour vascular reset, the exact ritual to reclaim your circulation. Day 1, the priming. Your goal in the first 24 hours is to thin the sludge and lower the pressure. You start your morning with the garlic ritual. Take 2 cloves of raw garlic, crush them completely, and let them sit on your cutting board for exactly 10 minutes. Do not skip this wait. This is the birth of the allicin. Swallow them with a glass of warm lemon water. In the afternoon, you will brew a concentrated ginger tea. Use a thumb-sized piece of fresh ginger, grated and steeped for only 5 minutes. By the end of day 1, your blood pressure will begin to stabilize. The pressure against your internal highways is easing. Your blood is becoming more aerodynamic. You might feel a slight warmth in your core. That is the advanced guard beginning its work. Day 2, the expansion. Now that the blood is thinner, we blow open the gates. Your morning begins with the circulation spark. Take half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon and a tiny pinch of cayenne pepper. Start small. Your body needs to adjust, and stir them into a cup of warm, not boiling water. The cinnamon will polish your blood sugar, and the cayenne will trigger a massive surge of nitric oxide. By the afternoon of day 2, you will notice something strange. The coldness in your hands or feet may start to dissipate. The brain fog that usually hits at 3 RPM might not come. Your peripheral vessels, the tiny back alleys of your body, are seeing fresh, oxygenated blood for the first time in years. You are no longer just surviving. You are flowing. Day 3, the fortification. On the final day, we heal the scars and protect the miracle. This is the day of the golden elixir. In the evening, 2 hours before bed, warm 1 cup of unsweetened almond or coconut milk. Add 1 teaspoon of turmeric, a heavy pinch of black pepper, crucial for absorption, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. The turmeric goes to work soothing the inflammation in your vessel walls, while the cloves provide the bulletproof vest for your nitric oxide, ensuring that the progress you've made isn't destroyed by oxidative stress while you sleep. By the time you wake up on day 4, your vascular system has undergone a biological reboot. You are waking up with a heart that feels lighter, a mind that feels sharper, and a body that is finally truly warm. But I must issue a stern warning. This protocol is powerful. too powerful for some. If you are on blood-thinning medications like warfarin or aspirin, or if you are scheduled for surgery, you must consult your physician before starting. These spices are not supplements. They are potent anticoagulants and vasodilators. Do not ignore the strength of nature. Furthermore, avoid the three vascular killers during these 72 hours: processed seed oils, refined sugars, and excessive salt. You cannot clear a road if you are simultaneously dumping more sand onto it. If you want the results, you must respect the process. The payoff. Imagine waking up on that fourth morning. For the first time in a decade, you don't feel heavy. You don't feel that dragging exhaustion that makes every step feel like a chore. You look in the mirror and see a clarity in your eyes that hasn't been there for years. This isn't magic. It's the result of a clean, efficient, and high-functioning cardiovascular system. For years, you were told that your decline was inevitable, that your clogged feeling was just a part of getting older. That was a lie. Your body wasn't failing you. It was waiting for you. It was waiting for the allicin, the gingerol, the curcumin, and the nitric oxide. You aren't just adding years to your life. You are adding life to your years. You have been given a final warning, but you have also been given a map to safety. The choice is now yours. Will you continue to let the clock tick towards zero, or will you take the 6 keys and open the gates to a new life? Your 60,000-mile journey starts with a single spice. Start tonight. Your heart and your future self will thank you. If you found this life-saving information valuable, do not keep it to yourself. Someone you love is walking around right now with a silent clock ticking in their chest. Share this video with them. It might be the warning they need. To ensure you don't miss our next deep dive into the 3-day kidney flush, clearing the filters of life, make sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications. Don't let your health be an accident. Take control.